Here are a few of the more interesting science experiments done. Number 10. Teacher attractiveness and learning curve. Do you remember the teachers that you had as a kid? Were they hot? Okay, it's a weird question, but apparently teacher attractiveness makes a difference in our learning curve. Or at least that's what a study conducted by a psychology research group in Nevada concluded. The study, carried out at the University of Nevada, pointed out that students perform better on a wide array of learning tasks when they perceived their instructor to be high in physical attractiveness. The study didn't go into why they wanted to perform better in class. It's also been previously demonstrated that an attractive appearance often leads people to infer other positive traits about the individual. So an individual's physical appearance has a profound impact on how a person is treated. Actually, various studies have suggested advantages for attractive job applicants during the hiring process. Well, it is what it is. Number 9. Gentlemen prefer it. Men always say that they don't know anything about hair. While that might be what we think, a study carried out in the south of France shows that, in fact, a woman's hairstyle can be a determining factor in male behavior. In an experiment done in 2015 on the coast of Brittany in France, a young girl was instructed to walk ahead of male pedestrians and drop a glove on the ground while pretending to not know what happened. The study aimed to determine how 3 different hairstyles influenced male decision-making. The hairstyles were the girl with her hair falling naturally, the girl with the ponytail, and the girl with the bun. Men were significantly more likely to helping the girl out when her hair fell naturally on her neck, shoulders, and upper back. Who knew we were so gullible? The takeaway: if you're a lady in need of some help, let down that hair and let it blow in the wind. And it seems like you'll get a lot more people hurrying up to lend you a hand. Number 8. Ladies prefer. Beards have made a comeback after being out of fashion for quite a while. What exactly happened to make that lumberman look rise from the ashes? I don't know about the ups and downs of fashion trends, but I do know that it seems that a lot more women want to date a guy with facial hair. But is that really so? Could facial and body hair distribution really contribute towards perceived male sexual attractiveness? An Australian study showed that men with even and continuously distributed facial hair from the lower jaw, connecting to the mustache and covering the cheeks, were judged as more sexually attractive than individuals with more, quote, patchy facial hair. So, while you might be thinking to let it all grow, it only makes sense if you can have full facial hair. Also, dudes with full, all-over body hair was perceived as less attractive than when they were clean-shaven, with the exception of images depicting some hair around the chest. Hair around that area was actually deemed to be significantly more attractive than clean-shaven bodies. Alright guys, you know what to do now. Number 7. The nose knows best. Our smell is like a fingerprint. No one smells exactly the same as another person. And our smell carries a lot of hidden cues about our physiology. Did you know that our body odor can change depending on mood or even on a menstrual cycle? It's been long known that women attract more male attention at certain stages of their reproductive cycle because of bodily smells. And if you find a partner's smell repulsing, then you probably aren't a good genetic fit. In today's age, we're accustomed to modifying our odors using artificial fragrances. But have you ever experienced that nasty feeling that a perfume or cologne you tried out developed a nasty scent after a few hours? That's because sometimes artificial scents clash with our own natural scent. There's a new scientific trend that aims at creating scents that complement, rather than mask, our natural odor. In 2016, a study conducted in the Czech Republic researched the effect of fragrances used on an individual. Investigators concluded that encounters with new people in a social setting, and perhaps especially in mate choice context, the combination of a perfume or cologne that matched and body odor works best, rather than just body odor alone. This means that if your scent matches your odors, you'll seem much more attractive. Number 6. The perfect time. Have you guys ever noticed that in watch ads, the time is almost always set at 10 past 10? Well, this is no coincidence. In fact, the reason watchmakers set this time in their ad is because it's a scientifically proven way to increase your likelihood of buying the watch. A research group in Germany explored whether or not time setting resembling a smiling face would enhance emotions, thus leading to an intention to buy. I mean, a smiling face wouldn't be the first thing that comes to mind after seeing 10 past 10 on a watch, but that's just me. Apparently it works. The research found that this default time setting positively affected consumers because it resembles a smiling face. Although consumers neither consciously notice this default time setting, nor are they aware of the intended resemblance of a smiling face. That's pretty powerful if you ask me. Moreover, watches set at 10 past 10 induce significantly stronger ratings of pleasure in women than in men. The conclusion? If we're repeatedly exposed to a particular stimuli, we create a preference for it, even if the stimuli are presented subliminally. The takeaway? Don't lose any more time and start sending nudes to your crush. That's a joke. Please, don't do that. Number 5. The smell of success. Did you know that it's possible to condition people's behavior? Okay, maybe a few of you knew that already. Much like Pavlov's dog, we easily associate specific conditions to certain emotions. A research group in Philadelphia demonstrated that a scent that's experienced during an emotionally important event will acquire the meaning of that event, and when later encountered, will evoke emotions and attitudes similar to those that were experienced during original exposure. This experiential state will, in turn, influence behavior. Surprisingly, there's a unique connection between smells and emotional conditioning. In the study, athletes were exposed to a specific odor when they performed well. After the conditioning, when an athlete was exposed to the same odor, performance increased significantly compared to when the smell wasn't present. Who knew conditioning worked so well? Think about all the possibilities. You could suppress annoying behaviors in your family by conditioning them with a variety of smells, or make your boss like you with a simple whiff of your cologne or perfume. Theoretically anyways. Number 4. The group attractiveness effect. I'm sure you guys have heard the proverb that says, a man is judged by the company that he keeps. Well, it turns out it's real. A study carried out by a research group in the Netherlands demonstrated that global group impressions of physical attractiveness are more positive than the average ratings of the group members. This means that usually groups as a whole are rated as more attractive than the same people in that group rate individually. So why does this happen? Apparently the human brain select the most attractive members of any given group and focus on them, and the others in that same group seem to be more attractive by mere association. This means that in a group, the more attractive the individuals are, the hotter the whole group seems. This makes sense, but I still don't agree with the whole thing of putting people more attractive than you on your Tinder profile, but that's just me. Number 3. The male voice. Traditionally, signs of masculinity include, among others, lower-pitched voices and increased hair growth. In a changing world, you might think these features aren't as important now as in asserting personality as actual conversation, but of course, we haven't changed much. Come on, human biology isn't going to change in just a few decades. A study carried out in the UK demonstrated that heterosexual women perceived these male traits as a sign of personality. As lower-pitched voices or facial hair increased among the male individuals, the interviewed women were more prone to designate them as more manly, which means that they found them more dominant and attractive. This way, perceived male dominance ratings increased linearly with increased facial hair growth and decreased voice pitch. As the pitch of the voice lowered, women inferred more dominance and attractiveness increased, although an excessively low-pitched voice was also considered unattractive. Women perceived that high levels of traditionally masculine traits, while aesthetically appealing, decreased attractiveness as a potential partner because it's linked to lower levels of relationship stability and less investment in parenting. Interesting. Number 2. Hitchhiking percentages. If you thought that science was all about weird potions and lab coats, you might want to think again. There are plenty of new studies that aim to solve problems closer to the general public, that explore regular problems that we all have. A great example is the great number of studies that specifically researched the science of hitchhiking. Really what it researched was what gets someone to do something that seems to only benefit the other party. One of the better-known studies took place in 2007 in France. The scientists wanted to know if there was any correlation between a female hitchhiker's cup size and the number of rides she could get. After trying out with an A cup, a B cup, and a C cup, it turns out that male drivers were significantly more prone to offer the girl a ride, the bigger the cup size. Is this a surprise to anyone? The girls were especially likely to get rides when she appeared to have a C cup. Apparently, the weather also makes a slight difference. Drivers were more inclined to stop and give test subjects a ride in warm, sunny weather compared to dark, cloudy days. The takeaway? If you're a girl who's lost your phone to call an Uber, basically, wear your best push-up bra and go out while it's sunny. However, everyone in both studies got a ride eventually. I guess, just be patient. Number 1. Love with only 36 questions. This experiment went viral after an article in the New York Times commented on it. Apparently, you can foster intimacy and love with a series of questions created just for that specific purpose. Psychologist Arthur Aaron of Stony Brook University created a guide to fall in love specifically designed to accelerate intimacy and love. This guide, comprised of a series of tasks, questions, and behaviors, included looking into each other's eyes for around 4 minutes. Completed all at once, the 36 questions theoretically increase intimacy in just under an hour. Starting off fairly light and simple, the questions and tasks become more and more personal. In each question, you're required to share something about yourself and listen as your partner does the same. The questions include things such as, what is your most terrible memory? And what do you consider to be too serious to joke with? These questions were meant to increase rapport between two people that have just met. The study showed that the guide quickly induced feelings of closeness and emotional attachment. I mean, I guess that's assuming these people had things in common. Here's what's next.
Turning tissue. Crazy, right? Alright, we're gonna have to slow our roll again. Just because the researchers successfully managed to genetically reprogram the pinky and the brains, it doesn't mean they're able to do it for us right now. They were able to reduce the rat's calorie intake in